get his help with getting his phone set up. He is, I think Randy's 74, 75. He just got out of the hospital. He spent 2 weeks in the hospital with pneumonia. And I had to get him a new phone. And he could not get it set up, so I had to set his phone up for him real quick. Now I think he's off to play cards. Hello, hello. Some people jumping in here now. So we've established on the last live that today is Tuesday, so tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll be heading out to West Virginia to film tomorrow. Finally getting caught up on my editing, so that's a good thing. Hello, everybody jumping in chat. Sorry I had to end the last chat, so it got pretty crazy here with my boys. Like I said, I was setting up Randy's phone for him, so he's now got a phone. Pennsylvania, hello. Where's everybody from? Drop where you're from in the chat. Let's see, we got England, Florida, Canada. Duke, do you guys have to bark every time I go live? I mean, is it like, I feel like my dogs know when I go live and they just have to bark. Texas, Pennsylvania. Where Bill? Sure. Duke wants to say hello to everybody. Duke's a sleepy boy today. Mr. Sleepy Bones. Okay, go lay down, guys. Oh, these guys have so much energy. What do you think messes up the house more? A bunch of dogs or a bunch of kids? What do you guys think? Because I'll tell you what, that dog right there, Bentley, I could clean this whole house, and within a couple hours, he'll have toys everywhere. Dogs, kids, cats, dogs. I do love dogs, but they, Mr. Ben, Duke's not a big toy person. He, I speak like Duke's a person, which he is a person to me. But Duke isn't, he doesn't play with a lot of toys unless Bentley drags him out and forces Duke to play. You're not going to eat my microphone this time. You guys remember the last live when Bentley, everybody's like, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. I went back and watched that live. You could hear Bentley crunch on the microphone. So I had to take it apart and wash it real good. 4 dogs. He wants my microphone. Anything that's fuzzy, Bentley feels like he's got to put in his mouth. Up. Up. Here, you want to say hi? Everybody can see how big you're getting. You're getting to be a big boy, huh? This is the evil monster that put me in the hospital. You're a good boy, huh? Tell you what, I think Bentley's close to 8 months old. It's amazing how smart he is. He's not quite as smart as Duke, but Elizabeth, thank you so much for the donation. Greatly appreciate it. No, Bentley's just got a ton of energy. So yeah, we do have a brand new family haunting episode coming out Friday night. We're testing out some new equipment. We got some new audio equipment where we can scan the house and listen to amplified audio. The case I'm editing right now, we had a new spirit box we tried out, which we got to test out some more. And then we've got the new REM pod we used on this case I'm editing right now. I don't believe the REM pod goes off at all during this case, but it talks. Anytime something gets near it, it'll talk like the temperature changes or a ghost is near, or I don't know what all it says. But it's pretty cool having a talking REM pod versus one that just has the crazy alarms. Let's go chat. Love the Foremans. We love you guys back. What is your guys' favorite piece of paranormal equipment? Drop it in the chat. Let's see. I feel like it's all over the place. We tried to do a mixture of like a bunch of different equipment and see what works the best. Obviously, it just depends on what type of haunting you're dealing with. Is it something residual that's not going to be able to communicate with you super intelligently? Is it something evil? There's SLS camera, EVP. I love EVP. This case I'm editing right now, the most incredible EVPs I've ever heard in a long, long time. So I'm excited about this one. SLS camera. Josh loves EVP. Yes, he does. Ghost Seer. Ghost Tube. I feel like there's a mixture. And I did some testing, not the episode. I'm not 100% sure next week if I'm going to do a Chasing Evil episode or another family haunting. But the next family haunting after this one you'll see Friday, I did some testing with like Spirit Talker. So it's pretty interesting. So I think you guys will enjoy that. So basically, yeah, I mean, we use like almost every piece of equipment we have during an investigation. Sometimes the reason you don't see like the SLS camera is just because we didn't get any hits on it. Sometimes we get no EVPs. Sometimes the stuff that comes across like Ghost Tube or Spirit Talker doesn't make any sense. So then it's like, are you really making a connection with the spirit? Is it just randomly going off? Different alarms. Piccolo will work one case, not the next case. You guys seen like when I was using the yes/no device in the store, it was working great for Rocky. I used it for like 45 minutes and it never once said anything. So a lot of the times you just don't see the stuff just because there's nothing to see. There's no responses or anything like that. What are the dogs' names? That one back there is Mr. Bentley. Right here is Tucker. He's blind. And then over here on the couch, always staring out his window, that's Duke's couch. That is King Duke. He is the boss of the house. Ain't that right, Bentley? So I would say like my top 3 pieces of equipment would be EVP, obviously video camera, because you can get audio and video from that. If you would even consider that a piece of equipment, I do. And then I definitely like the yes, no, and I like Spirit Talker more than Ghost Tube. I think if I get into a super haunted, very intelligent haunting case, there's stuff that comes across Spirit Talker that you just cannot explain. And then we got new, like I said, we got new equipment. Probably my least favorite piece of equipment is probably, and it's a piece of equipment that we used to rely on a long time ago, but it's more old school equipment. And I feel like some of the newer technology and newer devices, you get better responses. Is the old UK Spirit Box. I know Rocky loves the UK Spirit Box. That was built for us back, oh Lord, 16 years ago, 17 years ago, maybe longer than that. It might have been 20 years ago. We do have spirits follow us home. If you guys seen the video I posted the other night, the short, me and the boys were trying to go to bed and the light next to the bed kept turning on and off. The first time I said, "Can you move away from that light?" And it stopped. And I was thinking, okay, it could just be a coincidence. So I got my phone out. When it started back up again, I got my phone out and recorded it. So that's what you're seeing is the second time it did it. And then it didn't go off anymore the rest of the night. We do have an area in our house where I keep all my haunted objects from different family hauntings that I've collected over the years. We have that in there, and that's the one only area of the whole house that you'll hear like random knocking. Like one day it was like so loud, I thought like the washer or the dryer or the washer was off balance. You know, it kind of bangs around. Ran in there and opened the door, and the washer and dryer, neither one of them were running. That's how loud it was. Josh, are all shadow people evil? I think it depends. I know there's a lot of different beliefs, and I think a lot of it just depends on like your religious beliefs, on how you view the paranormal. I don't believe that every case that we do is evil, dark, demonic entities. But if something is hurting a family in a negative way or affecting a family in a negative way, obviously, I believe that is demonic in nature. Um, I believe in like guardian angels, fallen angels, demons. And the one thing I've noticed, which is very, very interesting, like 3 to 4 years ago, it was very rare to go to church on Sunday and then talk about the supernatural world. But it seems like in the last couple of years, churches all over the country, maybe even all over the world, are getting more into the supernatural and demons and angels. And so definitely something going on. I feel like for a long time, a lot of churches tried to steer away from that subject. People are becoming more aware. Yep. I've always been a big believer that the unseen realm is like the veil is thinning. And I don't know if it's just all the technology, because you got to think how much technology's changed over the years. I'm not just talking like ghost hunting equipment and stuff, but 5G, all the radars that we have in space, just all the radio waves just constantly. You know, like our house, I would say probably about 2 miles, 3 miles from here, we've got two huge, uh, those power windmills. I'm sure those things put off a ton of energy. So I don't know if all that technology has just made it easier for them to. Josh, your face looks great. Thank you. You can't really see it. I can feel it. So I'm hoping by Friday I can shave and take the stitches out. Happy early Easter. Happy Easter to all of you guys. Early Easter. I'm sure I'll talk to you before Easter, but if I don't, you guys all have a great Easter. Have you ever tried LiDAR? I have not tried LiDAR. One of the places that builds our equipment over in Indianapolis, it's a bunch of engineers, retired engineers, and they build like ghost hunting equipment and stuff. And they do have something like radar, LiDAR that you hook up to a laptop and it scans the room. And instead of, it'll actually read like rooms that have walls, like a bedroom or something off to the side, it'll read through those walls like they're not even there. So it's definitely pretty interesting. Some people hate technology and things changing, but I think you have to embrace it. And if we all truly want answers, then maybe there's some new breakthrough in technology that'll give us the answers that we want. So I'm always open to trying anything to see what we can document. Josh, have you ever worked with a demonologist? Yes, we worked with several demonologists. Trying to think, the one out of Indianapolis, Father, somebody will tell me. He's big in the demonic realm of the paranormal. We've worked with Bishop Long, Cat Lang is another one. So the paranormal clergy, we've worked with them quite a bit over the years. I think Bishop Long does a great job. They're always there. Like if we get into a case, like we'll go in and we'll do an investigation and deal with like family hauntings and stuff like that. But if we ever get a case that we truly believe that somebody's got an attachment or deep into oppression, almost borderline possession, then we turn those over to the clergy. And then they can evaluate what we documented and they can work with the family. My brothers and I, we would never try like doing an exorcism on like a house or an individual or anything like that. The most we do is we'll pray with the person and that's it. If we feel like it needs the next step, then we have people that we can refer them to. Yeah, that's a good point that Jackie made is with everybody having cell phones and stuff, everybody's got home cameras, so a lot of people are documenting more than what we may have 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, so if we ever get into a situation where, because last thing you want to do is make, if somebody does have like a super strong attachment, last thing you want to do is make the situation worse with them. So we always use caution when it comes to those cases. And a lot of times, there are times like the clergy will reach out to us and say, hey, can you guys go investigate this house or work with this family, see what you can document, and then they'll review all the footage, and then they can make their assessment as far as, because it's actually quite the process. If you were going to go through like the Catholic Church for an exorcism or something, it's not like you can just call the Catholic Church and say, "Hey, I need an exorcism." There's a huge process that you have to go through in order for that to be taken care of at that extent because when is Chasing Evil? That is coming very soon. We got to work with a great family down in Kentucky. Probably some of the kindest, loving people I think I've ever worked with in my life. Um, the father, you could just tell he was just such a kind soul and probably never says anything bad about anybody. So it was just great to work with them. And Chasing Evil, I always forget, or I forgot because we haven't filmed it in so long, how emotionally it is to work on those cases. But that'll be coming very soon. Yes, Father Vincent Lambert. He had done some work with us years and years ago, I think back in like 2012, 2013. And then Bishop Rake, we've worked with her up in the Cleveland area. So that's the good thing about being in the paranormal field for 26 years is you have a lot of people that you can call on for their expertise. There's some cases that we feel are too, like if it was something that was where we felt like, okay, this could be some type of possession going on here, more than likely we would just refer that case to somebody that handles those types of cases. We wouldn't even go there to investigate. So we turn down way more cases than we actually do investigate, but we do try to. Some of the families have been waiting for a couple months We're trying to get caught up as fast as possible. We're filming nonstop, investigating and researching and all that fun stuff that goes with it. Have you ever had interest in near-death experience cases? We've done a lot of cases with near-death experiences, um, Chasing Evil and Paranormal Nightmare. Yeah, we've done multiple cases where people have passed away and come back, and whether they were passed away for like 3 4 minutes or whatever the case is, for whatever reason those cases seem like they have a stronger connection with the other side. Yeah, I think with the paranormal, um, is, yeah, I think we've been doing this for 26 years, and there's still a million questions that I have about the afterlife. I definitely believe 100% in the afterlife. I believe in heaven and hell. If anything, the paranormal and ghost hunting has strengthened that belief or confirmed that belief. Um, but I'm a strong believer in like energy. I don't know if you guys are or not, but we know that we're made up of energy. Everything living has energy. So I think sometimes we have to disassociate that from like the energy that we may be documenting or picking up on and the human soul. Because I believe obviously in judgment. When you die, you face judgment. But what happens to that energy? Does that energy um, stay in a location? Does it attach itself to an item? So I think a lot of what we deal with is the energy of somebody. And I believe that you can pick up on people's energy. Like if some asshole comes in, you just pick up on that asshole energy, or somebody really kind and nice comes in, you pick up on that super nice energy. And I think that's where a lot of people don't, because we get a lot of people that say, well, if you believe in the Bible, then you believe everybody faces judgment. So why would their soul be trapped in a house? Well, I'm not necessarily saying that their soul is trapped in the house. I believe that their energy could be trapped in a house. Um, Trust me, I don't think we're meant to know all the answers. I think we're given enough information to make us either confirm our beliefs or question things, or um, like that one guy. I was just watching something on YouTube. The guy that does the entertainment news, the real famous guy, used to be on entertainment. Um, Somebody help me out here. But he literally just had a near death experience. He was a huge atheist, did not believe in God and the afterlife, had this near death experience a few weeks ago, and now he's a firm believer in the afterlife and God and heaven. So it's just, some people just have not had their experience yet. Some people, I believe, are just so closed minded that things probably do happen around them. They just don't pick up on it. Providence, Rhode Island. Yes, Hilton. That's pretty good to watch. When you see somebody go that drastic from hardline atheist to firm believer, yeah, there's something to that. I've had my own experiences where I thought, okay, because there's like when you do your investigation, obviously there's things that happen. You could say, okay, that was a coincidence. But if you do an investigation, say you're there 6 hours and you have 30 things that happen that you just can't explain, that there's no rational explanation for, obviously then that would be considered paranormal. But there's things that's happened that I just 100% believer. Definitely not empathic, so I'm glad I'm not, because I can leave the investigation and not have things constant. I couldn't imagine having things constantly talking to me. And I'll tell you one thing, which you'll see in the Chasing Evil episode coming up. I don't know if the episode really delves into it as much as it probably should have, but the mother, because when I was talking to the mother, she talked about having psychic abilities. And you'll see in the episode, there was different theories with the family of what may have happened. And the mother, everything that she said, and um, she was pretty much spot on. So I definitely believe that people have those abilities to tap into that energy. And so we've worked with other psychics that just none of it made sense. And why do they hide? I don't think they hide. I think necessarily it just depends on, there's just so many different types of hauntings you can deal with. And like I said, there's nothing to tell a spirit like the minute my brothers and I walk in with all this equipment that they have to communicate with us. We're just hoping that they communicate with us so we can find answers before we do the cleansing. That's really the whole point of the investigation for us, is to find answers. If there's anything that a message we can get across that the spirit has, or whatever the case may be. And then you're trying to trigger, sometimes you just have to try to trigger, there's something that triggers that activity to take place. But it all just depends if it's something residual that just doesn't have the ability to communicate back and forth with you. It's just this specific thing that happens on every certain day of the week at a certain time, and that's when it happens. And it's not, doesn't have the ability to communicate back and forth with you, set off equipment, communicate with you. And then other places you get into, or it just seems like it's super intelligent, where it's answering all your questions. And um, I don't think we'll be doing any, I don't think we have anything scheduled in Maryland for an event. Yeah, because I think there's a lot of people that try to put like the paranormal and investigating and stuff all into this little nice little neat box. And you can't do that. It's just such a huge space that there's so many different variables. Um, like I said, we've been doing this for 26 years. I know we've done at least over 3,000 investigations, and I still don't have all the answers. So we will not be in Pennhurst in May. I do want to get back up to Pennhurst sometime. That's one of my favorite locations. Thank you so much, Darlene. Appreciate it. I'm feeling great. My face was sore yesterday because I hit it in my sleep somehow. Excuse me, but I feel a lot better today. I'm hoping by Friday I can shave and take my stitches out. But we'll see. I don't want to push it. So if you're a big believer in the energy, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what makes some people sensitive and open to this stuff, and other people not so much. Josh, how did you split your lip? I was laying on the couch. I went through this in another live, but I'll tell you, I'll go ahead and tell you anyhow. Some of you may not have watched that other live. I was laying on the couch. I was watching a YouTube channel, a couple that was remodeling a house up in Canada. My oldest daughter came over, brought Nico, her dog. You guys have probably seen him in other videos. Nico came running to me, so I could give him a big hug. As Nico was running towards me, all I see is this big brown fur ball come flying at my face. That was Mr. Bentley down here. Jumped over Nico, running full speed and landed on my face. I think at the same time he landed on my face, he kicked off my face to move across the couch. And his back, at the time, his back claws were like super sharp. I've since then cut his claws, but it dug into my face here and it just pushed off of it and it just ripped my whole from here down. And I was only stitched from here down. And then at the bottom, it was split completely open. So just one of those freak accidents happened in a split second. I didn't, at first, I thought he just hit me. I thought he knocked teeth out because it hurt that bad when he first hit me. So I bent over and I was holding this, and then I moved my hand away, and just blood was. I don't want to get too graphic, but that's what happened. Just unfortunately, my face was in Bentley's way. But yeah, if you're new and just jumped on here, Friday night we got a brand new episode dropping, Family Haunting. You guys will not want to miss this. We test out some pretty awesome new equipment. We have some crazy things happen inside this house. It's a very dark haunting. The things that the family's going through is very dark. What I liked about this case is the wife is super religious, more religious, I should say, than the husband. So she kind of steers away from the paranormal, and she was having things happen that she could not explain. I think it just scares her so much that she doesn't want a whole lot to do with it, but a lot of crazy things taking place inside this house. And come to find out that several houses on this street have activity going on. So I think it's something, maybe not necessarily with the house, but the area. You know, when you have multiple houses. What do you think about UFO conflict? I believe that there are some type of extraterrestrial things going on out there. If you think about the universe, the size, the amount of planets, I think there's just what, millions of planets out there. To say that Earth is the only one that's got things going on, I believe there's other things out there. What do you guys think? If you believe in UFOs, give me a thumbs up. I will say I believe more in UFOs than I do some of the cryptids. A lot of UFO believers in here. Yeah, I feel like there's just too much out there. Space is just too big that there's got to be something else out there. And wouldn't it be weird if we find out that there's life on another planet and they also have like the same beliefs that we have with like God and the supernatural, and that's weird. I do enjoy space, so UFOs. I've just never really known how to investigate UFOs and stuff, but it's definitely a subject that interests me. It was itchy more up top here. The bottom part here still hurts. You can't see, but the stitches go all the way inside, and love the SLS. I'm gonna start using the SLS more. Some people love certain piece of equipment, other people hate certain piece of equipment. Some people get so pissed off about like Ghost Tube and Spirit Talker and stuff, then some people get angry about SB7 and the Spirit Box, and then some people hate the SLS camera. And I just figured out that I just can't make everybody happy, so I try to do a mixture of things. And really, with the investigation, you're not really thinking about keeping the viewers happy or anything like that. You're there to get the family answers and document whatever you can in that period of time that you're there investigating. Obviously, there are some things that we used to do back in the day that you guys absolutely hated, so we don't do that anymore. Um, One reason we don't have like the background music and all that stuff in our episodes is that was one thing that people absolutely hated was during the investigation, all these creepy sound effects and background music, so we don't do any of that. Um, our investigations are actually pretty simple. We set up 5 or 6 cameras. I think that's what we use about. I would say on average, we use 5 or 6 cameras during the entire investigation. We set up our cameras. 3 of them are handheld cameras, and then all the other cameras are static cameras set up in areas that we know that the family's having experiences. And we hit record, and you guys see whatever you see and hear, whatever we see and hear. It's pretty straightforward as far as the investigation part. Anybody that's ever investigated before, you know there's a lot of downtime where you're changing out batteries, you're changing out lights, go to the bathroom, get coffee. You may take a 5-10 minute break. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that most people that have investigated before understand all that stuff. Thank you so much, Terry, for the donation. Josh, I'm coming to meet you guys in Brunswick, Georgia. Thank you. I can't wait to see you. I believe in July. Already have my VIP tickets. I live in Florida, so I'll be driving up to meet you. Favorite ghost hunting team. Love you guys so much, Team McDaniel. Thank you so much for the donation. Can't wait to see you guys. We will be in Georgia. I think she said July. I'm not 100% sure on the dates for that event, but we were trying to get to some different states this year and meet some new people. And Rave, was that Raver? Sorry, my text is super low on my phone. I can tell you what human spirits is literally made up of in scientific terms. Okay, please tell us what it is made up of in scientific terms. You should have Angry Grandma investigate with you guys. Listen, guys, don't make me smile. Hold on a second. I'm trying to see if he posted a response in the scientific terms. So, Angry Grandma had reached out to me. We were driving home from New York. I think we were driving home from Brooklyn, New York, a couple years ago. Checking the emails, and then I get an email from Angry Grandma. And I think, okay, this is probably just one of the, because if anybody that's got a presence on like social media, you can go to literally any social media site and find 50 fake channels, fake pages. Like I don't have, personally myself, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, I don't have TikTok, but I guarantee you there's 50 of me on every one of those sites trying to scam people. So she had reached out to us to do an investigation together. And I have watched her before. She's very but I just wasn't 100% sure how you guys, our viewers, would react to us doing an investigation with Angry Grandma. I feel like some of you guys would hate it. Some of you guys, it would have to be a very specific investigation. Like somebody said, Brushy Mountain Prison in the chat. Like I could see going to Brushy Mountain Prison, taking her there. But I feel like some people would, I don't know, I feel like I would have to set Angry Grandma down and have a one-on-one heartfelt conversation with her and just tell her, say, listen, Angry Grandma, tonight we're gonna slow down on the shenanigans, the cussing, and let's do a serious investigation. And so I don't know if that'll ever happen. I know that they have reached out to us to investigate with us. Obviously, I would never take angry grandma into a family haunting with me. Um, but if it was the right location, like a prison, like she might piss off some inmates. We have come to upstate New York quite a bit. We have a few cases in upstate New York, up in Syracuse. I think there's a small town just south of Syracuse that we'll be doing pretty soon. So I don't know. We'll see. I personally think she's very entertaining. I know it would be a bitch to edit because I would just be bleep, 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 bleep. We have worked on our cussing over the years. We don't curse near as much as what we used to. So she might make us backpedal a few times, and next thing you know, we'll all be cussing like sellers. We have done cases in Pittsburgh if we do close to Pittsburgh. What I'd like to do is when things slow down a little bit is sometimes when we go into, because usually when we go into investigate, especially with like the family hauntings, we don't really do any public announcements beforehand. We try to go in under the radar, do our thing, and then leave. Because you always have to worry about people just showing up, messing with you, um, running around the house, tapping on windows and stuff like that. So we try to stay very low key when we do the family hauntings. Um, but if we were coming to like Pittsburgh to do a big haunted investigation, I think it'd be cool to meet up with a lot of you guys, earlier that day or the day before and do like a meet and greet. So that's something we could definitely do. Man, my house is freaking hot. 75 in here. How warm is it in your house right now? Is 75 too hot or am I being a baby? Tell me in chat. I got to figure out what I want to do for dinner tonight. It's been me and the boys for 4 days now. I've eaten cereal, and chicken nuggets and yogurt. So I need to find something to eat tonight. I was thinking like, yes, it's too hot. I was thinking like Subway maybe. 67 in my house. That's chilly. 75 is way too hot. I agree. My boys are probably hot back here. Time for pizza. AC running 75 here. I may turn my AC on and let it run for a little bit. I try to keep my house around 70 year round. So like in the wintertime, keep it at 70, it feels warm. And in the summertime, keep it at 70, it feels cold. I don't know how that works, but 70 seems to be the perfect temperature for keeping you warm and keeping you cold. It's one of those mysteries in life. And then that song pops in my head that life is a mystery. What is that song? I don't want to sing. 75, I would die. Christmas Bentley. Bentley like randomly just jumps up and starts barking out of nowhere. Like scares the living crap out of you. Bentley, come here. This dog. I don't know if he dreams. Sometimes I think he's like dreaming about something because he'll like literally just jump up and just start running around like he's being attacked, barking. You're okay, buddy. I'm not gonna let anything get you, okay? Come here. I'm not gonna let anything get you, okay? We'll see if I can get Bentley up here. I'll show you guys how big Bentley's getting. Okay, don't hit my face. Look. How old are you now? Like 7 months old? Oh, you're such a good boy. Yeah, do you see? You guys see his face? Oh, They probably can't see your face because of the chair. Mm-hmm. But you're a good boy. I remember when Bentley first came to us, I forget how old he was, but he was just so nervous. And now he's part of the family, huh? I got my mic covered. Say hello, guys. Duke's probably giving me the here in about 10 minutes I'll feed you guys, okay? And then I gotta go find something to eat. Duke does get jealous. But I make sure I give Duke extra time. Sorry to hear that. Nothing worse than losing a pet. Yeah, so I just needed a break from editing. Thought I'd jump on here and say hello to you guys. Remind everybody that we got a brand new episode coming out Friday night. So I hope to see all of you guys in chat. We have a fun time in chat. I feel like we got a pretty good community. We don't get a whole lot of trolls. Occasionally some troll will break through our defense system and our mods will have to take them out. But for the most part, we've got pretty good chat. We've got a good mixture of people who love the paranormal, people who are a little bit skeptical of the paranormal. So it's a good mixture. I think being a skeptic's not a bad thing as long as you're open-minded to things, but some skeptics are just so close-minded and it's like, why even watch the paranormal or waste your time on something you just don't believe in? It's like an atheist going to church every Sunday. It would make no sense. Jennifer Bryant, thank you so much for the donation. Much respect, loyalty, support Team Nightmare for Life. Appreciate you, Jennifer. Yeah, like if I was like a huge skeptic on something, I just wouldn't I wouldn't even watch it or do anything with it. It's like, makes no sense, but you always have a few weirdos online. Right, Bentley? Yep. Jackie says, these people are good people here, Josh. You have a great fan base. Yes, we do. We've all became family. Some of you guys have been with us since our first days on the world of YouTube. Lord, that was back. When did YouTube start? 2006, 2005? Maggie, thank you so much. It's hard to believe that we've been doing this since YouTube platform first started and we're still going strong 26 years later. How many years is that? That would be 23 years. 22 years. Let's see, when did, I think YouTube started in 2005. Let's go here. YouTube, 2006, that's what I was thinking, 2006. I think we posted our very first investigation in 2006. Sean ran out of a room when one of the toys went off, screaming for me. Sean's been running since 2006, 20 years. Tammy Miller, thank you so much for the donation. We really missed you on Friday. I know, I apologize. I think now that I'm caught up, you got to think we were busy filming Paranormal Nightmare between travel, filming, research, editing. Some of the cases we've had to go back multiple times for cleansings. So that took up a lot of our time. Obviously, plus all the normal stuff that we have going on, like fixing stuff around the house, spending time with our family, kids in sports, spending time with the animals. Now you factor in starting back up with Chasing Evil, which is why a couple weeks ago we we didn't film that long, but we were awake for 44 straight hours before I was able to take a nap. So, and like filming and filming and editing a paranormal investigation is like here. Filming and editing Chasing Evil is like way up here. It's just so much more complex, so much more research. Hello, Wish. Much love from Ohio. Thank you so much for the donation. But I hate filming Chasing Evil because I hate the subject matter and I hate to see anybody going through anything like that. As a father with children, I could not even imagine. Um, so I hate the subject matter. I hate that it has to be done. But I think Chasing Evil is good because it helps. There's so many cases out there, missing person cases, that just don't get any attention because for various reasons. There's other cases out there that get all kinds of mainstream media exposure and a lot of exposure online on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. And there's, for every one case you see being heavily exposed online or on TV, there's thousands of other individuals missing that you never hear of. So I think that's the most important thing with Chasing Evil is you're bringing that case to thousands and thousands of people from all over the United States and all over the world. And I think that's a good thing. And then obviously you want to try to get the family answers and but I think the exposure that you could bring to those cases is a big thing. Um, yeah, some cases with Chasing Evil just hit home more than others. I mean, they're all sad, but there's just some cases. Same thing with the paranormal cases. There's just some cases that hit you harder than other cases, and maybe it's how you relate to the people, relate to the victims, or whatever the case is. But Paranormal Nightmare, you have the dangers of demons and ghosts and stuff like that, and then Chasing Evil, you have the dangers of real people, real evil, demonic people. So I do want to take on the Sebastian case. I want to do the Summer Wells case because Summer Wells case wouldn't be super far from us where our property is in Tennessee. So I definitely want to look into that case. I've tried connecting with the parents. I've contacted them. I was in talks with one of the family spokespersons back then, and um, the thing is, like with especially like, and there's a lot of good people that do like the online sleuths that do a lot of true crime that I think do an excellent job, but there's an equal amount of morons, and I think that turns off a lot of the families. So it's harder for them to connect with you. The whole thing with the Summer Wells case is their religious beliefs. They didn't want to work with the paranormal group, which if my kid was missing this long, I would basically work with anybody that was willing to work with me. But I can't make them work. We like to have the family on board when we do Chasing Evil, just because all the filming that's going into it. I like getting the details and learning more about the individual that's missing from the family. And I just like to have the family be involved as much as possible. Um, so it's very rare. I don't think we've ever taken on a Chasing Evil case where the family was not involved. I feel like it's more respectful when the family is involved, if that makes sense. Aurora, thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend. Hopefully, we'll see you Friday night in the chat. Yeah, the good thing with like Chasing Evil is we learned like the whole legal process because we were working with some producers out in California. They were talking about pitching the show to a network and taking that to like one of the bigger networks like Discovery or um, I forget whatever true crime channels are out there. Ultimately, that was something that we decided not to do. We like having full control of it, and there's some things that other producers and networks and stuff would probably do and get you into that I wouldn't feel comfortable with. So at least with us having full control of it, we can do everything ourselves. Um, but the legal side of Chasing Evil, like say like we're running a spirit box session and it's leading us to a specific area. Well, if that's private property, obviously you just can't go on private property searching for evidence. There's legal channels that you have to go through, and regardless if we get those or not, uh, there's just a whole legal side to Paranormal Nightmare. When we get on location, we're filming. The minute we step out of the car, we're filming. Till the minute we get back in the car, we're filming. That way, everything's documented. A lot of you guys know with the case that we did with Ashley Morris, all of our cameras, all of our equipment was confiscated by law enforcement. They kept it for probably a month or so. They downloaded all the footage and everything off all of our cameras. And so it's a good thing that you film because if you're ever accused of something, you can say, okay, we have everything on video. Here's the video, watch the video. Um, so anytime law enforcement needs any footage from us, we just hand them over the SD cards. In this case, they took all of our cameras. So it's weird having all your cameras seized by law enforcement and being questioned and trying to explain to them how you're talking to spirits. And that's why you're in this area is because the spirits led you to this area. And Josh, you guys have the best chat on here. Thank you. I believe we do. I feel like our chat is close between it's like us and Twin Paranormal. I think they have a good chat. I've been in the chat a few times, especially like if I'm on the road and they're live or something like that. They seem to have a really good chat. Paranormal Files, I think his chat's pretty good. It's probably almost all the same people that watch us. I think they just tap into, especially with like Twin Paranormal, I think they tap into like a younger crowd. Kind of like Sam and Colby. They're going to be getting into a younger crowd. And a lot of the younger crowd don't want to watch three middle-aged men with scars all over their face, ghost hunting and stuff like that. And some people love family hauntings. Some people just don't enjoy family hauntings. They'd rather see the big, spooky, scary asylums. We do one day. That's my goal in the next year is to investigate with Casper Site. Yeah, they're probably not used to the Appalachia rules since I think they're from Nevada and probably not used to. We spend a lot of time in the mountains of East Tennessee and Virginia and Kentucky, so we're used to the code of conduct with all the beautiful mountain people. Those are our people. Matter of fact, we'll be heading to the mountains this weekend, mountains of West Virginia. We do want to go to the Sally House. Years and years and years ago, when we almost went to when the original family that lived in the Sally House, I forget what their names were. We were supposed to go interview that family and investigate the Sally House. But back then, we were working 9 to 5. I think we were literally living like paycheck to paycheck. Um, it was a rough time for us so we didn't travel far for investigations. We just didn't have the money. We didn't have the money. We didn't have reliable transportation. I think that's like a 13, 14-hour drive for us one way. But that would have been the time to do the Sally houses back when the original family lived there. Just moved back to Northeast Tennessee 2 years ago. Don't leave my front porch when it's dark out. I love East Tennessee. Is my mic? I think my mic's working. Is my mic working? We would do Franklin Castle in Cleveland. We tried getting into that place several years ago and just could not get into it. I don't know if it's still under the same ownership, but it just wasn't going to happen. Two reasons why there's some locations we won't film at is one, I don't care for the owners and the way they conduct business, or two, it's just too overly priced. Like, I've had places tell me $5,000 for like 8 hours. There's no way in hell I'm going to waste $5,000 to go investigate any location for 5 hours or 6 hours. So, some locations, like I said, I would love to get into, but what some of these people, and they're like, oh, well, we just had Ghost Adventures here like 2 weeks ago. Well, if you're going to guarantee that I get the exact same responses and document the exact same evidence as Ghost Adventures did 2 weeks ago, then I'll pay you $5,000 to come in there. But what's the cheap pay $5,000 and then you go in there and it's a quiet night? I would rather take $5,000 and go donate it to a charity than throw it in some haunted location. But there's a lot of haunted locations that we've done that they really do care about the building. They care about the spirits in the building, and they put a lot of the money back into the building as far as fixing it up. Like Dan Allen, that owns the Randolph County Infirmary, I know for a fact that they put a ton of money, a lot of work into all the buildings they have. They treat the spirits inside their locations like they are family. So, like, as far as like the owners of locations, I think he's probably one of the best. The gentleman who owns the what's the house we just did up here in northern Ohio? I feel like we just did it a couple months ago. He's a great owner too. He's a owner and he's also a paranormal investigator. Yeah, Dan is a great guy. Out of all the owners I've ever worked with, Dan is one of the best. Waverly Hills, we worked with the original owners. I'm pretty sure it's the same people that own, shortly after they bought the place. So I don't know. Some of these big secular mainstream haunted locations, they're fun to do, they're fun to get into, and you could say you did it, but it's also not. I have a passion and a love for family hauntings. Please come to the UK. Yes, we are going to come to the UK at some point. Okay, everybody, I am going to turn my AC on because it is now 76 degrees inside my house. I got to feed my boys. I think I'm going to run and get Subway tonight. I want something fulfilling, more fulfilling than cereal. And maybe get a meatball sub. What's your favorite sub from Subway, guys? Let me know in the chat. What's your favorite sub from Subway? Josh, your dog is eating something behind you. Bentley's always eating something. He's got his little book. No, I forgot. Look is Duke's trigger word. This is Bentley's doggy book. I will not eat my homework. I will not eat my homework. I will not eat my homework. Don't play with the real hedgehog. Look. See, it's a doggy book. It's got little dog drawings in it. It used to be squishy, I think. It may not have been. You want your book? This dog has got so many toys, and some of his toys I keep out in the garage because there's just not enough room in the house. You want to say bye, dude, before we get off here? Come here. Dude, come here. Up. You want to say bye to everybody? Mm-hmm. Say bye, YouTube. Thank you so much for the donation, Darlene. Appreciate it. Everybody say goodbye to Mr. Duke. We'll see you guys Friday night. Like I said, we'll be out tomorrow filming, so we'll see you guys all Friday night. I'm going to pull my house off, feed the boys, and I'm going to get something to eat. Thank you guys all for spending some time for me. It was a good break from editing. I just needed that mental break. But you guys all have. This is how they play. Duke always sounds like Duke's about ready to rip your head off. But that's just how Duke plays. He is super. He would never hurt that way. That way, let me get that. Ready? Duke, get him. Get him. Okay, you guys all have a beautiful night. Thank you so much. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Smash that thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Our goal is to hit 700K by the end of April. Let's hit that mark. So please subscribe. If you want Bentley to be happy and to see this book again, you have to subscribe. Right, Bentley?